Welcome back to another exciting starting lineup. Our lineup today right here at the starting lineup till 11 o'clock. We got Mizzou, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, Tennessee, Florida. And I believe that one Keefer is going to have a play on that Tennessee-Florida game.
Love those Gators.
And our bankroll game is going back to that Florida well again after going 0-3 so far. So we'll see what's going to go on. Tone the Bone in second place after I'm riding past the legend and, of course, the Legend Brothers. You never know who's going to be here in the starting lineup. And, of course, the holidays are right around the corner. We're getting ready for a great thing.
We got one of our Hall of Famers today.
We do. We have someone that he's usually bringing in stuff that's alive. Today, he is a live thing. We're not going to put him on your lap like you did with the last thing he brought in.
Let me check his pulse. You are alive, aren't you?
Seth Cosby from Sasquatch Toys and Comics in beautiful Homewood, Alabama joins the show. What's up, my man? How are you?
How are we doing, guys?
Doing fantastic.
Good to have you back, Seth.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Just in case you're wondering, it's Pet World No More. After 50 years, you had a great run. Congratulations.
That's an institution in this
town.
It
was.
So
Congratulations on a great run, but we have moved on to bigger and better things for sure than a Sasquatch Toys and Comics. Tell people what you got. Now, I've mentioned there. I've been there about 4 or 5 times. You walk in. You didn't see those cartoons where you walk in a house about this big. When you walk in, it looks like the inside of Jerry World. That's what his store looks like. You walk in a little room and you're like, and next thing you know, it just goes and goes and goes. Over 300,000 comics. Talk about a little bit.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, no. I mean, basically, I brought a little bit of stuff just to kind of show off what we do and what we have. I actually just got a decent starting lineup collection in.
Oh yeah, starting lineup. There you go, starting lineup.
I mean,
it's perfect. It's starting lineup. There you go.
Old school toys.
Awesome. Yeah.
I also have this 1966 Batman cowl.
Nice.
Oh wow,
Coach Klein down there. We actually have an autographed jersey of him. But I tell you, man, right now, what's really hot is Pokemon.
It's
amazing. My son's 33, still addicted to Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, it's
There's one guy here that several weeks ago said, I need me an Evil Knievel. One of those Evil Knievel things is you wind up and it goes across the floor and you found one for him like within a day.
That's amazing.
Evil Knievel.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What is the strangest thing that anyone's ever asked you to do a find for them? That you could say on the air?
Yeah.
I would say probably the coolest thing that I actually found was the old 1984 speeder bike pedal car.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. From Star Wars. Really, really cool. And that actually was a Kmart giveaway.
No kidding.
Yeah, and
wow.
actually not all the Kmarts in the U.S. actually got them.
That's crazy.
That's a really, really cool piece that I got.
I can imagine, because I know you always say buy, sell, and trade, and if you got stuff that's still in the box, and people have stuff from their attic, sometimes their grandma or grandpa dies, they take over the entire state, and they find boxes of all kinds of toys that have been opened up. That's the kind of stuff you're looking for, and it's in fantastic shape. But I can imagine some of the crazy things that you have probably found on your own. I know you like to travel the country. You go to a lot of these shows, stuff like that. Only the best is Sasquatch Toys and Comics. So talk about some of the other things I know. What's the most expensive comic you have in the store right now?
I would probably have to say on that it would be Invincible #1.
Okay.
And it's got 2 signatures on it. It's running around 8,000-9,000.
Woo!
Wow.
We actually have a real nice one here as well. I brought actually that one just came in yesterday, but it's the first appearance of Punisher.
Oh wow!
So, yeah.
Oh wow. Nice. That's great stuff.
But then we have modern Star Wars.
Yeah.
We have vintage Star Wars. It just goes on and on. I mean,
well, we're almost to Thanksgiving.
Universe.
Yeah, that's incredible. We're almost to Thanksgiving, so obviously with the decorations, and I noticed there's Christmas movies on every other channel. I got to think your store in the next few weeks is the ideal spot. Instead of just going to some generic place, people can find real specialty stuff that is going to knock somebody's socks off at Christmas time.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, the Legos. You have a Lego room that is unbelievable.
Another thing my son's into.
You have several Lego rooms, actually. You have a lot of different Lego rooms. But it's just, for me, it's just a walk through, like, when I was like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. We talked about these scrappy cards. I forget what they were called. They were cards that made fun of popular brand name items. And they would change a couple of letters in it. And I remember those cards. But I can remember walking around, because you used to walk around, like, when you had your box of baseball cards, and I get them out every day and look at them every day. And that's why I could tell you who the starting lineup was for the 1978 Phillies. And I know you could do the same exact thing. And there was one year where I was one card short of getting the entire set, and it was flipping Mike Lum from the Cincinnati Reds. Mike Lum. It was a purple baseball card from 1974. It was the only card I didn't have in the 1974 set. And of course, it wasn't fair or right to go buy the entire set. You got to go buy it because it used to come with the gum and everything else.
Yes.
What about these? What are these little round things? What do they call those? You know what I'm talking about? What are they called? Bouncers? What are those things? The round things that people are collecting? The pock marks. What do they call them? You had Jurassic Park. Get a whole book of Jurassic Park ones.
I'm not sure on that.
They're pictures on little discs, like
Okay.
little poker chips.
Huh.
Okay, so that was probably some type of game.
Okay,
From
yeah.
you there,
I maybe I dreamt that. I know it's been a common thing.
Another Tony Curry invention.
It could have been. Yeah, I forget what they're called. They're little round. They look like about the size of poker chips, and you can buy them. And of course, they have them for movies and everything else. There's something else. All right. Anything else down there at your wonderful store? First of all, tell people how to get there. If you go down there, you're going to see a Star Wars figure standing outside the place, so it's super easy to find if you can find it.
Yeah. So basically, it's 145 Citation Court. So just right in West Elmwood. So once you turn by Central Paper, just go down the road a little bit, and you'll see stormtroopers standing outside waving at you.
There you go.
And in this area, just once again, it's Sasquatch Toys and Comics. I always want to say comics and toys. Toys and Comics.
Toys
Just
and
put it in your phone, and you'll be instantly transported.
Pogos?
Pogos.
Pogos. Hey, it just came to me. Pogos. Pogos. Yeah, I thought I was crazy.
I missed out on those.
No, Pogos. They're called Pogos, right?
Okay.
For a minute there, I thought I was losing my brain. All right, it's been a crazy football season. I can't believe we're getting down the nitty-gritty. Give me your thoughts on Auburn, Alabama real quick before we let you
The
go.
Iron Bowl is very meaningful all of a
It
sudden.
really is.
Very, very meaningful. Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to go Alabama. I mean, just cause I'm #1 true Alabama. So roll Tide.
Yeah, good for the Auburn fan base. They got something to look forward to. I mean, there's been a lot to look forward to, but if they knock off Alabama,
we got a
knock
feature
Alabama
coming up
out.
on the show today where our resident Auburn guy, Don, said, we've had a terrible season. We've lost our coach. We've been a horrendous disappointment, but it all salvaged if we can knock Alabama out of the playoffs.
It would be. Real interesting game coming top of the hour. Mizzou and Oklahoma, that squad that just knocked off Alabama 23-21. Will they have the letdown against this Mizzou squad? It seems like every week the line's around 7, whether they're favored by 7 or underdog by 7. That's going to be a really interesting ball game. And I know for Alabama fans, obviously, they like to see Oklahoma play a good game because it'll make them look better. But be worthy of those Mizzous. They got their quarterback back. That could be an interesting ball game top of the hour. So we'll see what happens. We've got our wonderful bankroll contest coming up. We're going to be going to Legend Cave. Terry's going to be here. And, of course, we're going out to the desert. Case Keefer with his plays. He's been on fire. This is the starting lineup with Sasquatch Toys and Comics, Seth Cosby. Thanks for watching.
Kip Keefer Sports with the Dynamic Dozen, the best 12 teams in the country, preceding the announcement by the Clown Show in Grapevine, Texas, of their top 12. We're not putting a number on them at this point. We're just telling you the 12 best teams. And remember the old slogan, the more things change, the more they stay the same? Well, I guess that applies because, once again this week, no change. The 12 teams that were the best teams 2 weeks ago when we started this are still the 12 best teams in our estimation now. Alabama, the only one on the list that lost this past week, but they stay in the poll, of course, with just 2 losses on the season. Their first SEC defeat. It solidifies Oklahoma, who we already had on the list, who, of course, beat Alabama. Oklahoma left off the College Football Playoff Committee group. And I was looking for maybe replacing BYU. Couldn't do that because BYU just blew TCU, another pretty good football team, away. So the same 12 from last week still on the board, just like we had them. In the Southeastern Conference, Texas A&M, who won the miracle game coming from behind when South Carolina didn't show up after building a 30-3 halftime lead. Texas A&M, Georgia, big win over Texas. Alabama suffering a defeat. And Ole Miss won a great game against Florida, who really came to play. Oklahoma, the 5th SEC team in right now. For the Big Ten, still the same 3, Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon barely holding on to their spot. And then you get into Texas Tech and BYU from the Big 12. And the wild cards, Miami and Notre Dame, round out our top 12. That's our list this week. We'll see if there's some upheaval as we look forward to another big college football weekend.
Hi, I'm Terry Quillian. Welcome to the Coach's Corner. And in the Coach's Corner this weekend, we have to have Kirby Smart from the University of Georgia. Wow, what an amazing coaching performance by Kirby Smart on Saturday night in Athens as the Bulldogs faced off against the Texas Longhorns. And we got to see the Kirby Smart coaching philosophy in action. Now, before the season started, you could hear a lot of national sportscasters talking about, Kirby Smart was great back in the day when you could really work on physicality and you could work the guys hard and you could push your team and be demanding. But these days, in the days of NIL and the transfer portal, that just won't work. You need to be a more modern coach. Basically, you need to be Steve Sarkisian. And hey, it doesn't matter if you could develop players because everybody just pays the players. And then if they don't like what's happening, they leave and transfer somewhere else. So that whole development thing, that doesn't work anymore. Saturday night showed that that's not quite the truth. Saturday night was a beatdown by Georgia versus Texas. And in the press conference at the end of the game, Kirby Smart was talking about what the real difference was. He kept being asked, what's the difference between the teams? And Kirby said, hey, for us, it's physicality. Kirby said something that we all know is true, but he actually said it out loud. He said a lot of kids nowadays, they want to take the check, but they don't want the physicality. And that's not our team. That doesn't work on our team. Our team prides itself on physicality. He talked about how the mantra for the team going into this week was the SEAL mantra, where they took guys down to the water. You get them all hyped up first, and then you take them down to the water, and at the edge of the water and in the surf, it's really basically torture. Kirby said, then you see who can make it. When you can't make it, and you're a SEAL, and you've had enough, you ring the bell. Kirby said, hey, our thing was we wanted to take them to the water and see who would ring the bell first. We're not going to be the ones ringing the bell. And that sure proved to be true. And you could see the difference in the post-game press conferences. Steve Sarkisian in his post-game press conference kept saying, hey, for 3 quarters, it was a really good game. It was a really good game for 3 quarters. Up until that 4th quarter, we were doing great. Newsflash, Steve, the game is 4 quarters. And I also think it was very interesting that we saw a side of Kirby Smart we're not used to seeing, and that's the very aggressive play calling. When asked about it, Kirby said, hey, everybody in this league is a really good team. If you want to win, you have to be aggressive. And Kirby was that, calling for 4th down plays twice, once deep in the Georgia territory, unlike the Georgia 36. And then that pretty famous now onside kick that was fielded by Texas boy Cash Jones. None of this is by accident. Again, in the post-game press conference, Kirby talked about how Cash Jones had practiced that play over 250 times. And he kept coming to him and saying, hey, coach, when are we going to run it? I can do it. I can do it. I've proven it in practice. I can do it. And if you're wondering if the Kirby Smart coaching strategy still works, you got a little bit of a glance at that in the November 10th game between the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles, where there were 13 University of Georgia players on the part of both of those teams. People are saying that that hard driving method of coaching doesn't work anymore. Looked a little different at the end of that NFL game, and it sure looked different at the end of Saturday night in Athens, Georgia. So congratulations, Kirby Smart, best college coach in America.
Welcome to the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, everybody. Kip Keefer here with our first glance. We're a week away, but it doesn't get any bigger and better anywhere in college football than the annual Iron Bowl. And now the heat is cranked up. Alabama stumbling at home, giving a game away against Oklahoma. All of a sudden, a lot more dramatic down on the plains. Prime time for the first time in 11 years. It's Alabama and Auburn 2 days after Turkey Day next week. We're looking forward to that. We've got our usual all-star cast. We got a lot of Bama on this side. I tried to get somebody to balance it out on the Auburn side, but Don says, Don Don says he needs no help. So let's start with Don Don. Don Don, this is the first primetime Iron Bowl in a long time, and you can make your season by doing what?
Upset City, baby. Upset, upset, upset. We're going to ruin their playoff chances, Cap. This is my playoff game.
Yeah, it's got a lot of implications. It all of a sudden the focus on a huge game is bigger than ever. John is a lifetime Alabama fan, and John, what was your reaction? And have you thought about the Iron Bowl and everything that's on the line?
Oh, yeah. Right after the loss on Saturday, think about the Iron Bowl. It comes down to it. And to be honest, it's at night, but it really doesn't matter. At night, 11 o'clock, 2:30, got to win the game.
Yeah.
Got to win no matter what. And we haven't lost, won 8 out of 10 years, won 5 in a row. This is going for 6 in a row. So, I mean, it might be a tough game, but I think we'll come out ahead.
The premier spokesman for Alabama Nation is none other than the legend. Preach, brother, preach.
I got one prediction for this game, Keeper. Pain. Pain.
Clever leg.
Gonna hurt you, baby. We're gonna hurt you there, Don Don. Of course, you've been beat so many times, you're used to it. So it's gonna hurt you, bro.
All right. So what's the key to the game, Don Don, real quick? Quick answer. What does Auburn have to do to win?
Number one, Alabama cannot run the ball. Okay, so we're just going to load up and do like Oklahoma, blitz, baby blitz, and he'll be on his butt the whole game. Their quarterback will be.
All right, so pressure is the key for Don Don. John, how can Bama knock off the Tide and shake off the, let's call it misery of the last two trips, which they won both, but in spectacular fashion?
Did win both, and I do honestly think this time having to playing Oklahoma, seeing those blitzes, playing LSU the week before, two very good defenses, and South Carolina with a good defensive line, that will help us beat DJ Durkin and his defense.
Legend, wrap us up. Take the mic and tell the coaching staff what they got to do to get it done.
Whatever you gotta do, you better get it done. We missed the playoffs again, DeBoer. I'm afraid our truce is going to be over. Need to handle this one, brother. You need to handle this one, brother. I cannot listen to him for 365. I cannot do it. I'll go insane.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have. A little early preview to the Iron Bowl. It's going to be great. And for all of you, one final note, who sent me notes that I was insane to say Texas was going to be a bust with Heisman Trophy candidate Arch Manning. They're the greatest team since sliced bread. And you still persisted last week, a lot of you, insisting this is a playoff team. Georgia 35, Texas 10, blowout city. I've said it all year, and I'll say it again as we wrap it up. Texas sucks.
Hey, welcome to the Legend Cave. I'm the legend from the Paul Feinbaum Show, the 5-time Paul Feinbaum Caller of the Year. I'm here with my two main guys, Keefer, the man with the golden voice. Y'all know the legend, Tony Curry, the main man in Birmingham. Hey, guys, Alabama went down last week. Tony, quickly tell the folks, can Alabama recover and still make a title run?
I don't even know what the mascot is for the team they're playing this weekend. You don't even need to show up that game. I think the line's like 50.5. They should be able to walk this game and sleep in it. And then that line against the Auburn Tigers, 5.5. Look out for the Iron Bowl. It's going to be weird things happen down there at Auburn.
Hey, Kipper, the Iron Bowl coming up. Ain't so worried about this game, but 5.5.
Yeah.
5.5, that means Auburn's got a chance. Do we got to be worried about Auburn?
I think, I'll say two things, Tank Bigsby and Gravedigger. I think those two terms give you a perspective. Alabama's had a tough time down there in recent years, and this game means everything. So the Iron Bowl, always a huge deal, massive this year.
Senior day, too.
Hey, senior day. Hey, Alabama. Hey, no more mulligans, Tony. No more mulligans. If the board loses another one, what are we going to say about him?
We're going to say that's the second year in a row he made the playoffs, and he's got one more year to get it done, or else he's finished.
Hey, Kip, am I sending a U-Haul next week, or do we beat Auburn?
Legend has announced, Kalen DeBoer, you're on double secret probation. You better not screw it up.
You better not screw it up against Auburn. I know it's the pet cemetery of the SEC, but we better not. We better make the playoffs, Coach. Great Birds! We better make the playoffs. Hey, remember us as a game. Don't be like the starting lineup. Sports insane.
Hey, let's go with another edition of the Vegas Heaters. I am Case Keefer, longtime sports bettor, sports betting writer, and sports editor for Greenspun Media Group, which includes Las Vegas Sun and Las Vegas Weekly. And well, the Heater is over 1-2 in both the bankroll picks last week and the college basketball picks after starting 3-0. We'll still take 4-2, but I think this gives me a chance to pivot into some new territory. And one thing I've always liked to do in this segment over the years is touch on the things that are happening in Vegas from a betting perspective. And man, we have a whole lot coming up before the end of the year. A little bit different than when I first moved here. It wasn't always like this, but I thought we would touch on some of those things today. Starting with this week, it is big time here in Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Grand Prix Formula One comes to town. Now, pro tip, I would not travel here during the race. It is a miserable experience unless you're a race fan. Impossible to get around. Can't navigate the strip, but it is a spectacle. It is something to see on TV. It does bring a lot of eyeballs, so let's try to handicap it real quick. I'm not really usually an F1 handicapper. I do some NASCARs. You probably heard on the show. Still reeling from the championship race. Denny Hamlin not getting it done. One of the worst beats of my life. But anyway, let's salvage it here in Las Vegas, where the favorite is Max Verstappen at plus 180. And I would fire on that. This is the third ever edition of the race. Verstappen won the overall championship here last year. He won the race as a minus 250 favorite coming in pre-practice, pre-qualifying 2 years ago. And this year, I think you're getting him at a much better price because of the way McLaren has dominated the sport this year. Their two drivers, head and shoulders above everyone else. However, they've never finished better than 6th in Las Vegas. They're telling everyone who will listen this week that they don't have the cars, they don't like this setup, and I tend to believe them. I could be setting myself up to fail here because I'm filming before practice, before qualifying, but I really think getting that big of a price on Max Verstappen is the only way to look in the Las Vegas Grand Prix. We're going to try to clean up the strip and get ready for Monday through Thursday next week, holiday week, where we have the Players Era Festival, the biggest multi-team tournament event that we have in college basketball now. I'm kind of long for the days where Maui had that, where even the battle for Atlantis had come up in recent years, but it is now all here in Las Vegas with the $1 million NIL prize to the winner. I just wish there was a little bit better format with the 18 teams, everyone in a group gets 2 games. Basically, it comes down to who goes 2-0 and who has the biggest point differential that gets to play for the title later in the week. And because of that, I'm throwing out some teams that could be contenders. I know both Alabama and Auburn are here, but look, Auburn's going to be a dog to Michigan in one of their group games. Alabama probably going to be a slight dog to Gonzaga. I'm looking for teams that have an easy first 2 games. And to be honest, the easiest path is my alma mater, Kansas. I'm really down on this team, though I don't love them. They will have Darren Peterson back here. I think they have a really good chance to win it. Probably worth the bet at 12-1 just because they play Syracuse and Notre Dame, not much. However, it is a Big 12 mate that really interests me next to them. Iowa State, they play St. John's. They should be a slight favorite in that game. And then Creighton, who they should crush. I like Iowa State at 10-1, probably the best bet in the Players Era. And we're still just a couple weeks away from getting the NBA Cup Finals here in Las Vegas, too. I gave all my group plays a few weeks ago. Let's go with some bigger outrights today. Now, again, I'm setting myself up for failure because I'm filming before Friday night's game between Denver and Houston, which to me is huge in this. I want to bet on whoever wins that game. Going into that game, you can find Houston as high as 25-1, and you can find Denver as high as 12-1. I kind of built my portfolio to win the NBA Cup around these two teams. Look, I love Oklahoma City. I said bet them to win the title again this year. Last year we had them to win the title. Shea to win MVP. But this format, you lose one game basically and you're out. They still have the Timberwolves and the Suns in group play. They probably win that, but then they're going to have to get through the Nuggets and or the Rockets. I just think plus 120 too low in this one-game format. So I'm probably going to bet some more of the Rockets at 25-1. You're going to get a little bit shorter price whoever wins that game on Friday night, but I really think that the value is with those teams. That's the NBA Cup bet. Finally, let's go with the bankroll picks, trying to bounce back from 1-2, one college game this week. I'll take Wisconsin plus 8.5 hosting Illinois. I think Wisconsin's gotten a lot better. And 2 NFL games. Give me the Steelers plus 3. I feel like this got a little bit bloated going to Chicago with some unknowns about Aaron Rodgers' status. However, number 1, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play. Number 2, even if he doesn't, I think at this age, Mason Rudolph really not a big drop-off. I don't buy the Bears. They've gotten so lucky in so many of these games. I think this is really close, probably more of a coin flip. So Pittsburgh plus 3 to go with Wisconsin. And finally, Monday Night Football. Who doesn't love primetime? I'm a big Brock Purdy guy. I think the market is not high enough on him coming back. Mac Jones did an admirable job, but I think Purdy really lifts this 49ers offense up more. So 49ers minus 7 to go with Steelers plus 3 and Wisconsin plus 8.5. Let's see what the rest of the guys have later on the show.
Time to get back to the bankroll. You see the lineup behind us. Looks like the Ledger brothers slipped a little bit. Looks like the bones popping up there. Case, who is the professional, is always number 1, as he should be.
He only went 1-2 this week.
He went 1-2 this week.
He is human.
Let's see what Kip Keefer's got in his bankroll contest this week.
Kip Keefer actually cashed last week, which was a rarity. Got off the schneid and got into 4 figures with everybody else, so I'm celebrating that. And to double down on what caused me to be in the hole all year, the Florida Gators, I'm right back on the wagon this week. They're getting 4.5 in the swamp against Tennessee. a team that's banged up, beat up, really has no incentive. They have no playoff chance, no aspirations. Give me the Gators in the swamp and the 4.5 points. If the Volunteers want to win by 3, have at it. That's just fine with me. And, I really need to couple them with somebody else in a parlay kind of so I can double up and catch up. But I'm going to just go all 150. I'm all in on the Gators and just try to double for this week.
All right, the Legend Brothers, what you got?
Well, the Legend Brothers have been struggling, but we got together this week, put our minds together, and when we put our minds together, that is one great man.
Dangerous, yeah.
One great man. Hey, David Legend is a great man. But this week, hey, we're going to go to the Missouri Tigers and take them 7.5 points against Oklahoma.
Let down for the Sooners.
Yeah, we think this is a week where closer we get to playoffs, the pressure will be on these teams. We like USC in the 7.5 against Oregon, and we like 7.5 in Missouri against Oklahoma. We think this is a week that those two teams could get upset.
Two-team parlay, right?
Two-team parlay for the 150.
Kai Gregory from Southern Precision Staffing, 205-682-2828. And from K4 Wins is going with the Houston Cougars -1 against TCU. He's putting the entire thing on the Houston Cougars -1 against TCU. And again, check out K4 Wins at K4Wins.com, K4Wins.com. Iowa has been playing USC. Iowa's been playing Oregon, USC. They're not Big Ten teams. They're tired of playing the Nebraskas, the Northwesterns, is slow, methodical, blah.
Northwestern won for me last week.
Now they're playing each other, which means they're going to be getting up and down the field. It's USC, Oregon like it used to be. The last 3 times they played each other, won over 80 points in each game. It's 59.5. It'll fly over 59.5 probably by halftime. Take the over. This, by the way, is a 3-team parlay.
Oh, Tony's going for the kill.
I'm going for the kill. Georgia Tech had a tough time last weekend against Boston College. They're going to bounce back. They're going to give up 2.5 against Pitt this weekend. I think Haynes Keene's going to find himself. They've got a lot more to play for in this game than Pittsburgh does. He's already lost 3 games. So I'm going to take Georgia Tech, despite the fact they lost to NC State the week before. Boston College tough. I think they're going to come back. And the Cincinnati Bearcats. Skyline chili is one of my favorite things, but don't ever get the beans because you'll be tooting all the way home. But that's exactly what Brandon Sorsby's going to do. 22 touchdowns, 4 picks. He threw half his picks last week. 2 picks in 1 game. Are you kidding me? That's why they got beat so bad against Arizona. Cincinnati
You're the first guy all year that's gone for a 3-gamer, Tony. You are exploring new territory.
Cincinnati 5-0-1 against the spread at home. 5-1 against the spread. They're catching 2.5. I'm buying it to 3. We're allowed to buy it at 3. I'm buying Cincinnati +3 against BYU. I think they get it done. BYU loses another ball game. So Cincinnati, Georgia Tech, and the over in the Oregon game. That is my bankroll. 3-team $150 parlay. And down the stretch they come. Here they come, baby. Kids going to be calling down the stretch. I can't wait.
In a 3-game parlay, you get 6-1 if you hit all 3. So Tony's 150 would turn instantly into 900 beans.
Hey, the Legend Brothers are going to get you because David Legend been warning you about BYU. So I got confidence that BYU will put the Legend Brothers back in second place next week.
For all your plays, K4Wins.com, K4Wins.com. We have a show. Of course, you can find it on our YouTube channel, on Tony Curry Radio, on Audacity, on the Coastal Sports Network. We're all over the place on Tuesday and Friday mornings at 10 o'clock Central Time. And, of course, go to our site, K4Wins.com, K4Wins.com for all of our plays right here in the Tony lineup. Enjoy all your college football in the SEC today right here on ABC 3340.
And catch us on the morning after tomorrow, 9 o'clock, WJOX.